Hey there, welcome to my channel, The Greatest Experiment of All. I just want to say congratulations, you have decided on a next step for your future, and that's graduate school. Good job, and I am so excited for you. I really hope that interviews go well, and just to kind of smooth your way along, I decided to put together this video about how to survive graduate school interviews. So without further ado, let's jump right on in and get started. Okay, you guys, I know that y'all are professionals and you understand what it means to attend graduate school and apply to graduate school and all of those things. However, I just want to reiterate that you need to take graduate school interviews very seriously. You cannot just wing it. I repeat, you cannot just wing it, okay? You need to practice, 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 and research, 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 okay? I don't care what field you're going into, like what program or what, area of study. It's important that you come across as knowledgeable and professional during these interviews. So you might be asking me, Sierra, how do I get practiced with interviews? How do I practice this? It's not something you can just sit by yourself and do and, rehearse. That's true. I will say that one of the best things you can do is, if you're an undergrad currently, is to go to your professional development facilities. I think that's the right term. I just had like a small brain fart. Anyways, go to the people in charge of professional development at your school and see if they offer workshops on how to interview successfully. I know at Meredith College, every semester they offer a very large amount of practice interviews where professionals out in the field in Raleigh come to Meredith College and they'll basically do a mock interview and give you a score and tell you how to improve. Now, sometimes these are really helpful. Sometimes though, you have to take it with a grain of salt because the professional might not be in your area. However, it's nice to get to practice on how to just communicate with someone in a type of stressful situation. You might also be asking me, Sierra, how do I research this school? Well, they have their school's website and their program website most likely. You also need to research information about the different PIs that will be interviewing you, as well as just regular faculty who may not be principal investigators, but who may be part of the team, such as like the office administrator. I know part of my interview was with our office administrator, and it was more about logistical things. But everyone you encounter in an interview weekend is interviewing you, and you need to be able to be very professional and very knowledgeable about the program that you're interested in. And oftentimes you can also look up information about like the grants that the place has. I know that there's a reporter instrument for a lot of government funded grants that you can go check out. And there are also you can network, and that's one way you can research a program or PIs and things like that. A lot of the times you can even reach out to the current director of graduate programs and mention that you're interested in applying, or you have applied and you'd love to come in. If the school is close to you, you'd love to come in for like an informal meeting just to kind of get a better feel about the program and if it's going to be a good fit for you. And most of the times people would love to meet you for lunch or coffee. I reached out actually at NC State University. I reached out to the director of the toxicology program at the time when I was applying because I was worried that my GRE score might not be high enough in the math portion to be accepted into the program, and I just wanted to clarify that with him. And I thought it would be a quick email exchange, but he was like, come on in, let's have a chat. And little did I know that, I assumed at the time, but little did I know truly that was kind of part of my interview process there. If he had immediately disliked me, I probably would not have gotten an interview there, to be honest. At least that's how I would have done it if I had been him. So, you just need to make sure that you are well versed in the ins and outs of the program and the people, and they know what is good about their program, but they want to make sure that you know what is good about their program and what draws you to their program. So just make sure that you keep that in mind whenever you're doing your research before these interview weekends. I also just want to tell you guys, make sure to take a deep breath before you answer any question. So right after they ask you, it's okay to pause and take a second and think about your answer. And it shows that you're a thoughtful person and you're not just gonna spew out the first thing that comes to your mind. I know a lot of the times too, if I get stuck on a question, I'll just say, you know, that's a really tricky question. Do you mind if I like take a second to think about that? That way they know you're not just kind of like sitting around doing nothing. You're thinking about your answer and how to phrase it logically. Another thing is, make sure when you walk into the room, you shake their hand and look them in the eye and introduce yourself. Even if someone just said your name, reiterate your name. Because oftentimes when someone says a name, they're not no one's really expecting it, and sometimes it can go in one ear and out the other. And even though they just looked at your personal statement and things, it's nice to just reiterate your name for them. And also, when you shake their hand on the way out, one thing that you can do, especially if you're like me and you have sweaty palms, is as you stand up, brace your hands on your thighs and push yourself up off the chair. And it kind of like, if you push off and then your hand is like hitting your pant and kind of sliding down, it helps take the sweat off of your hand, and no one will ever notice. And as you do that, you know, you can go shake their hand and you no longer have sweat on your hand. And that's actually a tip I got from someone who actually teaches proper etiquette at NC State University. I attended a workshop for that. And so yeah, that was really helpful. And especially, yeah, it can be kind of embarrassing if you have a sweaty palm and people kind of respond badly to that. Most importantly, I just want to tell you guys, don't fret over one answer that you give, okay? You might feel like you totally bombed one question and that's going to be the thing that sticks with that person for forever about you. Maybe you thought it was like a dumb answer. Maybe you thought it just wasn't well thought out. Maybe you stumbled over the delivery. Whatever it is, just remember it was one answer in a very busy weekend, and most likely that's not going to be something that people remember and think about. They're going to remember the impression you left them with, as far as like if you're well-mannered and you're excited to be there, if you have a spark in your eye, if you're easy to get along with. So please don't fret, don't beat yourself up. You're going to do great. And honestly, I would love to hear back from you guys as to how y'all did at all of your interview weekends. So if you could just leave a comment below for me, I'd be so excited to hear from you. Well, until next time, much love from me and good luck, y'all.